Hello again and happy holidays, everyone. This is the KMN 1971, back with my last haul of 2018. And it's a pretty big one. I have quite a few books to show, probably over 60. It's a little thriller, a little filler, even a slab, a rare appearance of a slab in one of my hauls. So let's just get right on into it. Kicking it off with the holiday season, Catwoman number 6, another beautiful art germ cover. Justice League number 13, just another great issue. Superhero comics done right. Superman number 6, my surprise series of the year. I would have never thought that Bendis would have been such a nice fit with Superman. At least so far he has been. Another surprise that shouldn't have surprised me, considering it was written by Jeff Johns. Shazam number 1. Will definitely, well, I've already actually added this to my pull list. So, nice. Injustice versus the Masters of the Universe, number 5. Just a fun little miniseries, man. Batman Annual number 3. Nothing special there, just a decent annual story, I guess. But as far as the regular ongoing titles, Batman number 61, still my favorite ongoing series. Great stuff. And just another classic, or soon to be considered classic, cover by Francisco Mattina, who has had an incredible run this year. Not just on Batman, but just in general. Detective Comics number 994. Missed out on the Monk Brooks cover, but I definitely wanted to jump on for the storyline. Another book that I've just added to my pull list. Countdown to Detective Comics 1000 and the in-continuity appearance of the Arkham Knight. Sounds like a good time to me. The Batman Who Laughs, number 1. Greg Capullo cover, the big book of last week. Fantastic stuff. My cover of the haul. Batman Dan, number 2. Incredible Lee Bermejo artwork on the covers and within the book itself. Just incredible artwork. Beautiful book. Love the Black Label imprint. Can't wait to see what they have in store for us moving forward. Great stuff. And I have to say, as a Batman fan, it is a very, very, very good time to be a Batman fan, because there's so much stuff right now that's just firing on all cylinders. Alright, and I've also been trying to track down this miniseries. Missed out on it the first time around. Batman White Knight, number 6. And number 5. One of my LCSs has been having a 30% sale off of Rack Comics, so these are not exactly new, but they were still on the rack, so cover price minus 30%, not bad. And I also buy books sometimes that aren't DC. So, Hellboy Winter Special. Haven't actually read it yet, but if it's in anything like any of the other Hellboy Winter Specials, it should be a guaranteed good read. Magic Order number 5, probably my favorite issue of the miniseries. A bit of a game changer, plot twist that I did not see coming, and I always appreciate when that happens. Bravo, Mr. Millar. And a couple of Marvel titles. Infinity War number 6, which was, just great work. Some okay artwork by Mike Deodato. Not his best, but the story I just feel was lackluster and disappointing. And still not over yet either. I still have to get the Infinity one-shot to polish this off and see how it really ends. But, And X-23 number 7, the hot book of, a couple of weeks ago. First appearance of the Ex-Assassin. Any kind of Batman-related or X-Men related first appearance, I'm always a sucker for them. So, beautiful cover. Didn't get the Deodato B cover, but I find this cover is really nice too. Alright, now, on to the back issues. Alright, so usually in the same format that's in all my other videos, until I get to the keys or better books rather, all of these books are within the, like $2 to $5 price range. So, not to say that there are some good books here, too. So, Birds of Prey, number 76, first appearance of Black Alice. Incredible Hulk number 418, the first appearance of, oh, I forget, one of those Skrulls that's going to be in the upcoming Captain Marvel movie next year. Detective Comics number 639, the first comic book appearance of Sonic the Hedgehog. Shout out to Sunshine Collects Things. I picked up a nice little inexpensive run of Justice League America from Volume 1. I'm always a sucker for those stories that Wizard would highlight as a classic gem, hidden gem. And this was a nice little two-parter in Justice League number 171 and 172, where it's a JLA, JSA team up, which is, I always find classic. It's also a murder mystery to one of the JSA members. So, and I've always dug that Batman cover also. So, really cool to pick that up. As well as these next couple of issues will polish off my George Perez run on the Justice League of America title. So 186, 194, whoops, 195, and 197. Make a little room. Still on my Hellboy kick, and I'm always psyched to find these one-shots that feature the creative duo of Mike Mignola and Richard Corbin. I don't know how many of these came out, but this is the third one that I've scrounged up so far. So this is Hellboy one-shot, The Bride of Hell. I also picked up Hellboy the Fury, number 1, and Hellboy number 7 of The Wild Hunt, which means I can finally read that miniseries now. Nice. Alright, so this next couple of books will be the 80s nostalgia part of the video. Okay, so Masters of the Universe special. Number 1, The Origin of He-Man. I have yet to read this, but I flipped through it and the artwork looks really good. G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, number 93, which features it features Snake Eye's face for the first time. Snake Eye's unmasked, I guess. So, that was pretty wild. The Terminator, number 1. A couple of hauls ago, I showcased The Terminator, The Burning Earth, which featured the first published artwork of Alex Ross, which got me to thinking, what was the first appearance of Terminator in comics? And allegedly, it was this. Artwork is not good, but it's a cheap first appearance. And like I said, in the 1980s, I was an 80s child / teen, so anything that's like Terminator, Aliens, Predator, Conan, Star Wars, Star Trek, Masters of the Universe, G.I. Joe, anything along those lines, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I'm all in. So, and speaking of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I ended up picking up a nice little run from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Volume 1. All of these books were like $3, with the exception of one, which was like $5 for some reason or another. But Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 19, number 20, number 21, and at least in my area, I don't see many copies from Volume 1 banging around. 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, and number 31, which kind of has like kind of a funky cover. I'm not so sure about the way they draw the turtles' like faces on there. But very happy to add those to the PC. Staying on in the early 80s indie scene, Star Slayer number 3, which features the second full appearance of the Rocketeer. And Star Slayer number 5, which features the second full appearance of Gru the Wanderer. Just some old school indie goodness right there. Shout out to Strangeblade for showcasing this book. I had no idea about it. Marvel Age number 7, which features a preview of Peter Parker, the Spider-Ham. Oh yeah. Everything, ever since that Into the Spider-Verse movie came out, or animated movie came out rather, a lot of books have been getting hot and sparking over it, so I'm all good. It was only $3, so, and I'm a sucker for these old Marvel Age previews too, so I think they're pretty cool. Some ASMs To end off the year, big time. Part 1, Amazing Spider-Man number 648, which some on eBay advertise this as a cameo of the stealth suit, and I would not say that. The only time you see the stealth suit at all in this comic is right up here and in a panel in the letters column, hyping up the storyline. So, approach with caution, but still, never hurts to have a copy of Amazing Spider-Man in the PC. Not really. ASM number 254, and some nice Bronze Age issues. Number 197 versus the Kingpin. 187, classic Bronze Age versus comic. Cap versus Amazing Spider-Man, illustrated by Jim Starlin. Yes, please. Amazing Spider-Man number 170. And number 166. Staying on in the Bronze Age theme. Fantastic Four, number 167. Anytime you have the Hulk and Thing either teaming up or fighting in the Bronze Age, I am all in. This is actually an upgrade to my copy. Mine had a couple of corner creases at the bottom, which is one of my all-time pet peeves. I also picked this up. Number 100, a Fantastic Four, number 168, which was on my FF want list, as well as my Luke Cage want list. This is the issue where Luke Cage joins the Fantastic Four for a brief stint. Picked up my second copy of The Mighty Thor, number 339, which is the first appearance of the Stormbringer hammer. Okay, whatever. But this is one of those books that's a prime example. It used to be, 50 cents, dollar bin fodder, and now it's like a $10 to $15 book. And shout out to the Doom, just because of Donkey Thor. Also picked up a copy of The Mighty Thor, number 280. Classic Bronze Age versus comic, Thor versus Hyperion, but the story was pretty cheesy actually. So, but very, very high grade, especially for a book this old. Really cool. All right, now getting into the keys section, some of the better books that I picked up, and I'm going to start out with the one book of regret. Thor number 129, which features the first appearance of Ares. Well, I thought it was in better condition when I saw it in the shop, but does have some Marvel chipping on the top. But the main detriment is this writing on the cover under the 129, the June, and the 12 cents. So probably just a VG Plus copy, and I paid like $20 for it. Ouch! The horror of defeat. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 1, cover RIB, which is the actual fold-out cover, which is a combination of all the other covers. And I guess you would call it a gatefold cover. Really cool. I've never seen it out in the wild, and I only paid like $10 for it, so really good deal. High grade too. Another indie book that I always wanted to pick up, but never got around to it. It was really hot for a long time, probably about 3-4 years ago, and it simmered right down. Peter Panzerfaust, number 1. Haven't got a chance to read it yet, but very interested in it. One of my local comic book shops bought a modern collection and sold me this for like $20. I think it goes still for around, like $30. So, not a bad deal. Real happy to finally add this into my collection. John Carter, Warlord of Mars, number 18, which contains the first published artwork, well, from Marvel anyway, of Frank Miller. And Frank Miller is one of my all-time favorite comic book icons. So, yeah, really happy to have that in my collection. Another abstract Bronze Age book, Monsters on the Prowl, number 16, which contains the first appearance of Tulsa Doom. Now, Conan the Barbarian, kind of like the Punisher, doesn't have many recurring villains because he usually, kills them. So, when it comes to Conan, his two main antagonists would be Toth Ammon and Tulsa Doom, who appears in this comic. Tulsa Doom was also the antagonist of Conan in the Arnold Schwarzenegger Conan the Barbarian movie. He was played by Tommy Lee Jones. So Conan is being revamped by Marvel and brought back next month, something I'm really looking forward to. So being a big-time Conan fan, wanted to add this to the PC. The Joker, number 1. Really happy to add this into the PC also. As a big-time Batman fan, huge Joker fan, I'm almost embarrassed it took me this long to get it in there. Just, I don't know, just didn't really think about it. This is in fine to fine plus condition. Got it for a really good deal on in an online auction. So, very nice. So, Batman stuff. Batman White Knight, #1. This is the variant, or the B cover. Really happy to pick this up. I think I've scrounged up about half of this miniseries now, so the only one that'll cost me any money, I guess, will be #2, which is just recently shot up in value. Why, I have no idea. Speaking of the Arkham Knight craze, I ended up picking up a copy of Batman Arkham Knight #1. Not crazy about the cover. Obviously, this is the cheaper option than getting the GameStop variants, especially the gold version. So, but I'm still really happy to pick this up. Happy to have the first appearance of the Arkham Knight. Like I said, any kind of Batman or mutant-related first appearance, I'm all over it. Batman Adventures #10, and this features my favorite Catwoman cover that is not drawn by Adam Hughes or Art Germ. Beautiful stuff. Detective Comics #437, and this features the first appearance of Walt Simonson's Manhunter, character that they revamped in the early 2000s and replaced, a female character ended up taking up the mantle of the Manhunter. So I don't think they've done anything else with the franchise since, but one of those cool Bronze Age abstract first appearances and a nice Bronze Age Batman Detective Comics issue. Batman #243, and this is part of the classic Denny O'Neil, Neil Adams, Ra's al Ghul saga that ran through the Batman titles in the 1970s. Probably only 6.0, but I only paid like $15 for that, shipped. So I've been over the years, I slowly chip away at this Neil Adams, Denny O'Neil Batman run, which is not getting cheaper anytime soon. So I usually only pick them up at a deal, so I don't want to pay the premium prices, so it's been taking a long time. Alright, down to the last 3 books of the haul that I'm very happy to pick up. Now, this was all made possible through my friends and family, because at the end of last November, I turned the ripe age of 47, so I ended up getting a little extra cash, some presents, and I ended up buying myself a couple of birthday presents too. So I usually don't have this many keys in one video, so just bear with me. But to all that made it possible, thank you very much. So, as you all know, I don't get many slabs, and I usually don't get many variants either. But in this case, I had to make the exception. I found out about this book by accident by browsing on GoCollect.com site. Shout out to them. Great source for information. And I came across this Dark Knight whole Virgin cover, foil cover. And I was like, wow, that's really cool. I need to pick that up. So once I started shopping around on eBay, I noticed some was signed by Frank Miller, but didn't have a COA. So I ended up coming across this that was signed by not only Frank Miller and Klaus Janson, but it was slabbed and had the signature series going for it too. So I paid $156 for this altogether. And I'm so happy, man. I mean, I don't usually shell out that kind of money for books, but this was one of those exceptions. Just to get Frank Miller's autograph and Klaus Janson's autograph on my favorite all-time story of all time. I mean, this is probably my all-time favorite single issue, period. So, big-time Batman fan, big-time Frank Miller fan, and a huge Dark Knight fan, obviously. So, very, very happy to add that into the PC. And under normal circumstances, that would have definitely been my pick of the haul. But when I was shopping around for that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1 from IDW, I came across a very fine copy of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1, 3rd print. So, paid kind of like where the lower end of the window is for this book in this condition. So, still a fair price. I was very happy to pick up a 4th printing earlier in the year, and I felt that would be the closest that I would get to a 1st printing. So this will probably be the closest I'll ever get to a 1st printing. So close yet so far away. But such an important book. Iconic characters. And this is the book that changed the indie scene for the better forever. So very, very happy to pick that up. And now for my pick of the haul. The iconic Captain America number 100. Premiere issue of Captain America. And, well, for the Silver Age, that is, obviously. And Stan Lee and Jack Kirby goodness. Another book from the Marvel 1968 premiere or expansion series, where Marvel just added a bunch of titles to their lineup and left DC in the dust basically forever. Check out the Go-To Geeks. They put out a great video on this subject a couple of months ago. As always, they always put out great content. So, but yeah, definitely check it out. Very happy to finally be part of the Captain America 100 Club. This one would probably be like a 6.0, maybe 6.5. It does have a little bit of blunting on the corners and a couple of spine ticks, but other than that, no chipping, no cover creases. Love this book. And that just leaves me now with Iron Man number 1 and Silver Surfer number 1, unfortunately, to complete that series. So, I don't know. I think I have a better chance of scoring an Iron Man number 1 at a decent price than a Silver Surfer number 1 in the future. So that's all I have for this week. I will be back next week with my year-end video, my best pickups of 2018, the state of my pull list, my opinions on movies, the hobbies, stuff that I'm looking forward to, and stuff that I want in 2019. You know, the usual shtick. So thank you all for watching, liking, and subscribing. Oh, and one last thing. Go see Aquaman at some point. As you know, I don't showcase a lot of Aquaman books. I'm not a huge Aquaman fan. But this movie, I will have to say, in my opinion, was the best DC Universe movie. Better than Wonder Woman. I'm putting my opinion on that. It's the next level of special effects. Is there cheesy dialogue? Of course, it's a comic book movie. But the action sequences were incredible. The visual splendor of the special effects and the action scenes underwater, outstanding. I can guarantee you will have a good time. And this is coming from someone that's a little wishy-washy on Aquaman. Pun intended. So, yeah, that's all I have for this week. See you all next week. Have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and yeah, see ya. Take care.